Alright, we'd like to demonstrate a patient who's had previous endovascular laser ablation for great saphenous vein, and 8 years later we're returning with an aberrant perigeniculate, an anterior cutaneous vein of the thigh emptying into an anterior perforator. We have just done an endovascular to close the accessory saphenous vein from a Cockett's perforator at the malleolus to Boyd's perforator, and then from Boyd's perforator we've got a posterior accessory great saphenous vein emptying into the anterior perforator of the thigh. Now what's interesting is that we haven't gone anywhere near this external dilated rope-like varicosity, and I'm going to show you on ultrasound what we find. It's not an uncommon finding, and that is that if we're not getting rid of varicose veins, one has got to consider the possibility that you have a connection between an arteriole and a vein. If we look at ultrasound, and now quite lateral, and you'll notice that there is an increasing flow in the vein and it is pulsatile. What we're demonstrating over here is that there is an arteriovenous anomaly filling the vein. Right, what we've done now is we've introduced an intracath into the varicose vein on the anterior aspect of the thigh. If you look at the ultrasound picture, you'll get a very clear picture of the flow at the end of the intracath. We're now going to extract the needle and introduce a guide wire. What we want to demonstrate though is that the backflow from the varicose vein presents with unusually red or oxygenated blood, underscoring the connection between the arteriole and the venous component. I'm going to demonstrate that we now have, by way of the Seldinger technique, our 7 French catheter, and we're examining to see that the catheter is in fact in the vein, which we can see on the ultrasound, and you'll see the typical double lumen of a catheter, and we've gone directly through the anomalous component at the moment. What we're going to do before we do our EVLA is we're going to close the component that dives deeper into the anterior aspect of the thigh, and through our 7 French catheter we're going to inject a 1% STD . Look on the screen over there, you'll see it flowing down into the anterior perforator of the thigh. This is a 1%, 1 cc STD, ultrasound guided foam, made up with a combination of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Demonstrating the area of the previous arteriovenous anomaly, one sees that there's a hyperechoic area where the foam has already made a thrombus, and there is residual arterial flow in and around the area, confirming already a vast improvement just having used the ultrasound guided foam sclerotherapy. A fiber optic has been introduced into the 7 French catheter, and you can clearly see under the skin where it tracks through the length of the abnormal varicose vein. And the advantage, of course, of endovascular lasers, we can see exactly where we are, and we also confirm with the ultrasound that we're not in proximity to the any arterial component. Using 12 watts of energy, we're going to ablate the varicose vein, avoiding the area between the two marks, which is where our arteriovenous anomaly was found. Stop. What we're realizing here is a combination of endovascular laser ablation and the introduction of the STD foam, and this should close the varicose vein and its connection to the arteriole through the arteriovenous anomaly highly effectively. Post-endovascular ablation, we look at the same area where we had the arteriovenous anomaly, and we see that there's no further flow. We can see the starry night picture of residual foam and gas bubbles from the laser in the ablated blood vessel, following it down into the anterior aspect of the thigh, and we see no evidence of any arteriole Our abnormal circulation came from a perigenicular branch through a lateral cutaneous. We entered here with the intracath, which is now suture closed with the 5-0 monocrystal suture. The varicose vein itself has been closed. There's minimal bruising. The color of the leg looks good, and we just make sure that there's no obvious compromise in any other arterial circulation or supply to the leg, and we see none of the kind. We have confirmed with the duplex that our medial, our anterior and our lateral circulations are still functional. We've also confirmed with our duplex ultrasound that our common femoral and the profundifemoral arterioles are working perfectly.